Back live. All right, just to catch you up, we're live, right? Oh,
Almost like it's picking up something.
yeah, it's picking up the Mothman.
I don't know what sound like that. Hold on.
Look, it's frozen.
Are you in?
Frozen.
It is now. And it says it's picking up the mouth man.
Oh,
Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us and see us.
it's like they're moving like this.
That's how they're always moving.
No.
I tell you I'm famous, dude.
You are?
Yeah, I am. Watch this. Watch this. If you Google Christian tattoos, images.
You on there? Oh, are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
All right, so just to fill y'all in, we went through Roger's sermon. Sermon of the week
Oh, this is fine.
is Brad Hall. If you know Brad, let him know we appreciate him at Matthew's table. Take him to lunch this week. Go ahead and send him a message. Let him know we're thankful for him, which will lead us into our question, and I think it's a personal question, is are you serving or are you swerving?
Hmm.
And I think that's a statement that we've used at Matthew's table from time to time. But I think now, you know, we have the building, and I think we're in a season of, I think that's a personal question. Each member needs to ask him or herself is, are you serving or are you swerving? So, Roger, the question that I have, and I think what we can talk about is, what do you think prevents us, our members, our people, from serving and getting into the game? Like, hey, I want to be a part of this. I'm going to start serving. I want to know where I can contribute to the body at. What do you think stops people from kind of taking that next step?
Well, one reason why I'm excited that this next sermon series we do next month, A Healthy Church, we'll be able to scripturally look at the reasons why they should versus why they shouldn't. But in most cases, I mean, let's be honest, right? Like most cases, it's excuses, and it's a poor understanding theologically that God, now that God has redeemed and rescued and saved you, that He desires to use you. But most people don't think or feel that way, and so unfortunately, they won't volunteer to serve or be a servant because of the way they see themselves.
Yeah. So do you think this almost mindset trickles into the church of someone else will do it, right?
Yeah.
So when we think about serving opportunities, whether it's kids table or security or greeting team or clean team, there's this mindset that I think a lot of people have in, oh, someone will take care of that even if I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I always like to consider is, even though someone may, what am I being a part of the solution? Am I being a part of the help? Am I being a part of the team? Or am I just sitting back being a consumer?
Yeah.
Am I just becoming a big baby that's just getting fed and fed and fed and fed?
Yeah, and so, you know, while we have a lot of people that are willing to serve, and this isn't a Matthew's table issue, it's a church issue.
Yeah.
All the pastors that me and you meet with and talk to, they have that we do. So it's bigger than just, you know, in your own house. It's a bigger thing, right? But we got to figure out how we help people get plugged in and find a place to serve, because God has saved you to use you.
Yeah, that's good.
And so most people feel like one of their biggest reasons is typically busyness, which in my opinion is not a good reason. It's actually a worse reason.
Yeah.
Because you have to make God a priority, and if you're too busy, then you need to cut some of that stuff out, not some of God's stuff out.
That's good. And I know even like small things, like one thing it's easy to point out the problems, right? Like well, that's dirty when I walked in, or that's like this and it shouldn't be. But like I had a member text me, and no one probably even knew about it. And she said, hey, me and my son have a free hour on Wednesdays. Would you mind if I go straighten up the food pantry?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that was huge. That was
Huge.
a blessing. That was because it needed to be straightened up. Like it
Mm-hmm.
needed to just be organized. So, hey, we had a free hour. Do you mind if we go do that? And man, that is that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because like it's easy again to point out, well, that's messy, or this needs to be done. But as a member of the church, it's your church as well. And like, are you in the game? Like, if you see a window dirty, clean it.
Yeah.
If you see trash on the floor, pick it up. If you see something, an area that needs help, get in.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think as a church, we would benefit, like, we had 305 people. What if we had 305 people serving?
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't need the same people working childcare.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't need the same people doing this over and over and over. Like 305 people, I always say, dedicated and serving would take over Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all in. What do you need?
Yeah, and so a lot of people want to sit back and make it something more complicated than it should be.
Yeah.
And so we were doing the Emmaus formation team meeting last night, and somebody pointed out that there was a donut left in one of the seats.
Mm.
And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
like
Pick it up.
305 people, surely out of 305 people, 50 could have said, you know what, that probably shouldn't stay there.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it away.
Yeah.
And they were pointing it out for a good reason, just so that we were aware that
Yeah.
stuff was happening. But like, even if you walk, if you're walking from your car to the sanctuary and there's a plastic bag in the yard,
Yeah.
that's a way to serve. Just
That's it.
pick it up and throw it in the trash. And all of us come together and play our part. 1 Corinthians 12, right? Like,
Yeah.
the body is made up of single parts that work together
That's
to be
right.
helpful.
And what I love about Matthew's Table in particularly is that we have many, many areas to serve in.
Yeah.
Like, it's not one person leads all this stuff. Like, even for me, I'm over outreach and discipleship. And I'll say one of the biggest blessings of outreach is we finally got into this good rhythm of, like, the Show Love outreach we did in the Rolling Heights. I wasn't able to attend, but they took care of it just as if I was there.
Yeah.
And I just think in that aspect of, like, man, that's the way it should go. Like, things should function outside of Roger, outside of Nick, outside of, whoever else. Like, and that's a part of serving is, hey, I can do this. I can play a role in this, and I will help in this.
Yeah. And just, beginning to take ownership, you know what I mean? Like, man, this isn't, Nick's church or Roger's, this is our
That's
church.
it.
This is God's house,
Yeah.
our church, and we need to get involved so that more people see us being the hands and feet of Jesus.
Yeah. So as you're thinking about, are you serving or swerving? Like, I think some simple ways, like you've been coming for a while and you're just kind of been sitting there. Like, a simple way is to get on our greeting team. What's that look like? Hey, passing out a bulletin. Good morning. Welcome to Matthew's Table. Another way, kids table. Men. We need men to work security, So we need prayer team. Like, if you've been coming for a while and that's one of your things, like, we want to be led by prayer. The clean team. Like, they do such an excellent job. And I remember someone had told you, like, I can't believe y'all don't have to pay, like, a professional company to come in to clean.
They actually challenged it and said, well, that won't last long. You'll have to. And you know what? Truth is, they're probably right. But
Yeah.
isn't that a shame? Like, isn't that unfortunate that the church has to pay people to come and clean their own thing that they met? It's like getting mad at your kid because they messed up their own
thing that
room.
we prayed for.
Yeah.
The thing that we asked God for, we would have to outsource that.
Yeah.
To get it clean.
And so, like, our hearts is that everybody steps up and gets involved because mainly because we don't want it to be about us.
Mm-hmm.
We want it to be all of us doing this together. And we need more of you to step up and get plugged in, because and how many times have you served or done anything other than what you're supposed to be doing that ended up turning out to be a blessing for you?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I always even tell people, like, we've been collecting jackets and clothes, and like, that's not a Nick's clothes closet.
Mm-mm.
Like, if you think it should look a certain way, or you want to go down there and size the stuff and organize, go down there.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need me. You don't, like, you have our full permission. Like, go take a box in the food pantry. Go take it to somewhere. Go organize it. Like, you don't. There doesn't have to be a specific day or a time. Like, the lady that messaged me, she said, me and my son have a free hour. We'll organize it, man. And I went in there and it was spotless.
Yeah.
And I just think that is the definition of, I'm a member and this is my church. And also another example I have is, I had been down in the nursery and I had heard another member, they had a lot of crying babies, and she said, I want these babies to start getting used to the same face.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I'm going to work down here for the next 6 weeks, and I'll sacrifice and go to the early service.
Yeah.
And that was her taking ownership, and she didn't have to do it. Like, so many of us times, like, we're selfish, like, oh, crying babies, let me run away from that.
Right.
Man, she's seen that as an opportunity to let me serve these parents so they don't have to come pull their kids out, so we don't have to call them back to come get their kids. And she said, I'll take this on for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I just think there's so many different opportunities like that, so many stories like that where you can get plugged in. Which leads me into this quote I love, and it's by John Piper. And it says, why Christians do what they do is just as important as what they do. Bad motives ruin good acts. And as we think about serving, I want you to consider, why do we do what we do?
Mm-hmm.
We don't do it to get praise or recognition. One of the best things I love about the Clean Team is I really couldn't even tell you who's on the Clean Team outside of a few people that I've just ran into.
Yeah.
There's been times where I've been in the church and I've seen someone clean and I'm like, oh, I didn't know they was on the Clean Team. And I just think that's a pure motive. Like, you didn't need to
Announce
so many
it.
times
You
it's,
need to be.
I need to give my testimony.
Yeah.
I need to share a word. I need to be in front. Well, I think at first it's go grab the mop, right?
Yeah.
Go grab the broom.
Yeah, I've always said you don't deserve a microphone until you've put your hand on the broom. You know what I mean?
Man, that's it.
Like, everybody wants to be up front, but they don't want the responsibility of being up front.
That's it.
And I can't remember who it was. It was either, I think it was Trip Lee. It always said, you can't lead if you can't follow.
Oh, that's good.
And just serving, because what we experience is what most churches experiences, but the reality that a very few end up doing the majority of the work.
Yeah.
And then they get burnt out and tired, and then, it's just a constant cycle where if everybody could get past the fact that, hey, the Bible is very clear that you are to play a part at your own local church and serve somewhere within that body so that you're being the hands and feet of Christ.
That's it. And just like our food pantry, it's not one person goes supply all this food. We've always said, if you're grocery shopping, throw a few extra cans in there. Like, that's a way to serve
That's the way to
church.
serve.
Like,
it could be so little, but be something so huge.
yeah. If everybody does it, if everybody's a part, it makes it easier on everyone else.
I know a case of noodles is like $2.50.
$2.50. Yeah.
So.
But like food pantry, we was swamped this Saturday, and thank God that we had people that contributed all month long because we didn't have to turn one person away. So the verse that we're going to talk about is James 2:14 through 17. And then I'll kind of read that. It says, what good is it, my brothers, if someone says he has faith, but he does not have works? Can that faith save him? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, be warmed and fed, things needed for the body, what good is that? So also faith by itself, it does not have works, is dead. And I think what that says to me is like think about it. Someone don't have clothes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see a need, and your response is just be warm. Go away. You just be warm. But we don't meet that need. We're really not doing anything.
Yeah.
We're really just making ourselves feel good about the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I told them to go in peace and be warmed and filled.
Mm-hmm.
No, you've seen a need. You could have met that need, but you chose to just ignore it and say, go in peace.
Yeah.
You really did nothing, right?
Yeah. And even worse is, well, you should probably get with Nick or Roger.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
How many times have we heard that?
Yeah.
Right? Even from other people that go to other churches, I've heard
Yeah.
that. Like, hey, get with them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you go to you had the capability to serve them yourself.
Serve them yourself, yeah.
And I just think so many times that's the pastor's job or that's their job.
Yeah.
No, make yourself a part of it as well.
Yeah.
So the personal question again is, are you serving or are you swerving? Are you a part of the game? If you're a member at Matthew's Table, I challenge you. You've been coming here for 6 months. You've been coming here for a year. You know, you're coming faithfully. Like, get plugged in. I know, like, the prayer team, it's as simple as the first service, someone is in there praying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're dedicated and you say, like, man, I can't watch kids, I can't do this, you can go in there and pray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in a lot of our ministry area leaders try to work everyone's schedule out to where you're not doing it all the time. You might do it once every 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And so that breaks down to about 8 to 10 times a year.
Yeah.
You might do something.
Yeah.
So.
And even, I think we had forgot to share upcoming events. I did. But we're working on this prayer walk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where we prayer walk the whole city of Owensboro. And we had talked about this yesterday. When you had brought that up, I was like, that's a big task.
Yeah, it's bold, yeah.
But the way you had broke it down and, y'all had it broken down, if everyone does it, it's not that big of a task, really.
No.
Like, it sounds big, like we're going to prayer walk Owensboro. But if everybody gets into the game
Mm-hmm.
and everybody does their part, then the church is going to prayer walk Owensboro, not just Nick and Roger.
Right. Yeah.
And I just think so many times that's the way we need to start looking at it. This is our place. This is our church. Get into the game.
Yeah.
So some upcoming events, I'll go back to that because I think we really need to. This Saturday is Lighting Up the Dark. If you haven't bought your tickets, like, we need to know today if you're coming. We're setting it up. We're going to have meals. This is a fundraiser for our youth. We're not going to turn you away, but we really need to know if you're coming to Lighting Up the Dark. God gave us a building. He gave us a fellowship hall, but the fellowship hall don't fit everybody.
Yeah.
So we need to strategically plan this and know who is coming so we can serve you and set this up well. So reach out to me or Tamra and let us know, hey, I'm coming. If you already bought your ticket, you're good. But I'm saying for the people that need a ticket still.
Yeah.
Let me know if you need a ticket and are coming. Because we're not going to turn you away, but we need to know because we need to properly prepare the food and the way we need to set up. So let us know that today. Coffee and devotional for women is this weekend. It's at 9 o'clock. If you're a women at Matthew's Table, I would highly suggest you go. I hear nothing but great stuff about that.
Mm-hmm.
I know a different woman gives her devotional every time, so it's not just one woman leading it. And the next week after that is our men's breakfast.
Men's breakfast.
So that'll be at 9 o'clock on the 4th Saturday. So this Saturday, coffee and devotional for women. Next Saturday, men's breakfast. We got someone that's going to share their testimony, devotional, and I got something new for the men to do because we always want to walk away with something.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to just come and eat breakfast. We want to walk away with something. We want to start ironing, sharpening iron. So get plugged in, get a part of it. And that was like another thing. That was what blessed me too about the men's breakfast is I was wondering, like, how am I going to organize this? How am I going to do this? I had guys text me, you need me to cook?
Yeah.
You need me to do it? I never had to ask a crew.
Mm-hmm.
I never had to order. I had 4 or 5 guys there that asked me,
Yeah.
can I come cook breakfast?
Yeah.
And I think there's always a way for you to get plugged in.
Yeah.
Truth and Grace is tonight at 6.
Youth is
Youth
kicking.
is kicking. Middle school is kicking. Child care is kicking. Everything is going. So come tonight at 6. Lighten up the dark this Saturday. We'd love to see you. And this Sunday, we ask that you invite a friend to church.
Yeah, so for the next 2 weeks, me and Nick's gonna hit on just being bold in your faith. That the word for the year for Matthew's Table is bold, and we're gonna be bold in our walk, and we're gonna be bold in our talk. And one way you could be bold now is to invite a friend. Invite that guy that you work next to all day long, and you don't ever even think about inviting him because you think he might not come. Be bold and invite him anyways. And just let God do what he does.
That's it.
8:30,
10:45. There's a seat for you at the table.
That's right.
See you Sunday.